Well, as we promised, let's cross now to the Singapore Expo, where Communicasia is underway. Amanda Drury joins us now. Hi there, Amanda.
Hey there. Well, you know, it's very exciting out here. We've been talking to a lot of the policymakers, decision makers, the regulators, the carriers, the telco providers, you name it, all the people that are out here at the most comprehensive tech and telco event in the region. It is, of course, Communicasia 2007. Now, I have with me here somebody who is at the helm of SES New Skies. That is a global satellite communications provider. It is listed on Euronext and also the Luxembourg Stock Exchange, but they're going big in Asia. Now, I have with me Robert Bednarek. He's the president and CEO of the company right here. So why are you banking increasingly on Asia?
Mandy, there's lots going on in Asia. That's the simple explanation. We see strong growth in many of the geographies in Asia, many of the applications for which satellites are well suited. We presently have 4 satellites over the region. We're adding 2 more over the next couple of years. The services we provide include broadcasting of video material to cable systems such as your channel, DTH, which is direct-to-home broadcasting, and capacity for enterprise and business networks.
Within the region, I mean, it's a pretty big place. Are there any particular geographic locations where you see the most opportunity?
Actually, that's the great thing about Asia, is that it is indeed a number of distinct and different markets. We see strong growth, for example, in India. There's a literal explosion of DTH operations there, very strong networking business. We see throughout Southeast Asia, Australia, even for the business networking. And the other feature of our satellites is we can connect regions between each other, so we're not working just in any one region, but we connect them as well.
And what I really like about the idea of satellite communications is that you can connect to outlying remote areas that perhaps, you know, might otherwise get a little bit left behind. But, for example, in the circumstance where you might have a tidal wave coming, a tsunami, through satellite communications, you can send the alert out to everybody.
Precisely. One of our core businesses is actually connecting many of the Pacific Islands for basic telephony and business networking services, as well as internet services. One of the hallmarks of satellites is their flexibility. Unlike fiber that's buried in the ground and really is a point-to-point communications, satellite provides capacity which can be shifted around and used anywhere that the demand exists, including for disaster recovery or other types of activities.
It's that flexibility, isn't it? I've got to ask you about a Wall Street Journal article today. Indeed, it was saying that SES, your company, has forged a big satellite deal of around $700 million in value to launch 10 satellites. Can you confirm this news?
Absolutely. The deal is actually for the rockets themselves that lift our satellites. We, over the next years, will be launching up to 15 new satellites to make sure that we always have the capability of getting those satellites into space when we need them. We've done this deal with the 2 rocket providers to assure us access to the rockets for the launches. One of the key hallmarks of that deal, however, is flexibility again, that in the event that there's a problem or a delay in the manufacture of our satellites, we can always find a ride, if you will, on one of the two rockets.
That's a pretty speedy ride, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Can I also ask you, what is your outlook for the global satellite communications industry as a whole? Where do you think you fit inside it?
SES New Skies is actually part of a larger family. You mentioned it at the opening. We're part of the SES group, which has strong operations in Europe and America. New Skies is a relatively recent addition to the family, but we see strong growth in the areas both in Europe and America, but also outside of those, as I mentioned earlier. So we're very positive on what we see happening in the region. We hope to be adding additional capacity over above the one that I mentioned already.
Can you give us any numbers on that?
It's hard to estimate specific numbers, but I think over time we'll be adding 2 to 3 additional satellites over on top of the ones I've already mentioned.
Thank you very much for joining us today, Rob. We've been talking with Robert Bednarek. He is the CEO and president of SES New Skies, which is a global satellite communications provider. Back to you, Betty.
Okay, thank you very much there, Mandy. That was Amanda Drury, our reporter there, live from Communicasia in Singapore.